asked last time, but I don't remember. Does
Yeah, I don't
my
remember at all.
magic register on their rings?
Um,
Oh,
it's
it didn't, but
tricky
you got a new one out. Oh wait, you mean it on the?
in terms of when
But
she herself casts spells.
yeah, but
That's
he
a
was
bit
still
weird.
with it, wasn't he? Like he had a different device. So
He
would he not
didn't.
give you a device that fits with that? Or
He didn't say anything different. You were just told each of you got a ring known as a collar. Um, so you assume if he can track it and he hasn't said anything different for you and your ring, it can probably track yours too.
Oh, you wouldn't though, would he?
Mm.
probably would make a big deal of it if he was like, I can't track this magic.
Use this shit. This isn't going to work on her, but.
Well, fuck it. She's cute.
And I did not inside check.
So, you all do your due diligence, and you are now headed into Aelin. You are currently given a wagon to go toward the entrance with. As you are being escorted in, firstly, the long and simple, so I'm not going to do a whole wagon thing, you go in there, la la la, whatever. That happens irregardless. Who is actually going with you? Just as a note, everybody on the ship is being checked. You guys finish yours. The next round of people are brought in, they are checked to see who's what's where. Because some of the crew do live here, others are just here for resources while they're waiting for you guys. They have been given shore leave, in essence. So, some of them will just stay on the ship to keep track of it. Oh, Megan
was offended.
She was offended. Everyone's getting tracked. Ugh, rude. But yeah, everyone will be checked over. So if there was anyone in particular that you guys wanted to take with you, let me know now. Otherwise, my assumption is it's the main party, Ravi and Vlad.
I thought we basically told we told the crew that they could have some shore leave for a few days,
Yeah, they got
and
time.
that Anessa or Esatari would be in contact with them
Mhm.
when we were going to be ready to leave.
It's wholly on if you guys specifically wanted a specific member or members
But
with
you
you.
had your bodyguard. Who was your bodyguard?
The trapper,
Oh yeah, it was him. Okay.
and I've got the trapper in Ishki,
Yeah.
Ishgari.
Okay. So
Do you want your gardener?
No, but I will tell him to look for some, little seedlings and stuff to start growing. I'll have given him instructions to try see if he can cultivate some healthy, constitution improving plants or vegetables for Ravi.
nice just a word.
Oh, for Ravi, thank you.
Okay. Then So just for the finalised list, obviously main party, Trapper, Ishkari, Ravi, Vlad.
Believe so.
Then
What's Connor's dude doing?
he went off to the dwarven side of the continent,
Oh right,
to Doran.
probably smart choice.
Yeah. Look at this pixelated mess. Oh yeah.
But it looks pretty.
Haven't seen it in a while, I'll say that much.
Oh, we're back.
So, this image is of, to a degree anyway, the Overcity, but we're not quite there yet. I'm just using it as a background drop. As you guys are escorted toward the main gate, your other members of the ship behind you currently being investigated, checked over. You are wheeled in toward the main gate. A large double, almost silvered door covers the mountain entrance, or at least one of the many that you know of. The double doors, large in frame, even to a degree to your wagon, in front of those same large steel doors that cover the entrance, open up to your arrival as they are alerted to your arrival. As you look in, same as the first time, the place is dark. It is as close to the Underdark as they can get without getting there. However, strangely and as always, there are streams of lights across the many boroughs, the many individual little districts. You can immediately see, as always, the sloping difference between where you are now to get down. It's not like a full diagonal drop or anything, but there is a clear degree of drop as you start going down via the wagon. And from the lower city toward the bridge to the upper city, as always, is a clear height advantage. Even from here, as you guys are looking out and around, you can see the strange church that Trafalgar once spent some of his time at is somewhat thriving. It seems, with the boon he gave them last he was here, it seems to have helped them continue their way. There's also the street, the square, circle, more so than anything, but where that same family, Trafalgar's family, had caused quite a stir with his little mixtures of shadow power that he had gained from Legion. Not willingly, of course, but nonetheless. Opposing that, of course, is one place you all know too well, Ophelia's Lament. The lovely, once very, very well funded and very well visited House of Favours, we'll call it. It's not as in disrepair as possibly some people might have thought. From what you can see of it here, it's been given some degrees of renovations on the outside. It's the same structure for the most part, but a lot of the window frames have been replaced. Some parts of, not particularly the damaged per se, but parts of the walls that were once slightly older than the others have been like filled in or recolored. It seems someone has taken it over. As you guys are dropped to the main gates to the lower city, basic just bars pretty much that go up to about like 7 foot high, if even that, and a set of small gates directly in front of you. The gates are open, the wagons are moved through, and you are each allowed to jump out. The driver tells you all that you are welcome to do as you please in the city. They enjoy your time. May you enjoy your time here, and try not to get into trouble. After that, takes the wagon, returns back out. You can see even already that before there wasn't exactly streams of like security or anything for the lower city. This place was very much like slum territory sometimes. People were just let to do their own business. There was a clear degree of lower class and upper class. Now there are a lot more, maybe not mercenaries, but there's a lot more people clad in like leathers and straps of armor and the like, as well as a consistent policing force around here that has the symbol of what looks to be like one half of a spider's set of legs with a set of spider fangs that hover over those legs, as if to say they're one half of a force. And you can see them strewn out in like ones and twos, like every like 100 feet or so. This place got rather serious in your time away. You can already see, like, along the long road leading up toward the bridge, toward the upper city, there's at least 2 groups of these people that are currently tending to some row or some miscreant running away doing something obscene or absurd. They've taken a bit of seriousness to the recent incident. Maybe not so much in the right direction, but there's at least something here now. But I'm going to stop my spiel. What do you guys want to do?
I wanted to go to Ophelia's lament because that's where we were meant to meet the boys.
I want to point out to you that it looks a lot better than I did.
I'm happy to go there, but obviously I'm also looking out for Iltma's place. But he did say that he was probably going to close up his bookshop, so
It is also right next to Ophelia's,
that's
essentially.
what I was
So
going to say. I know it's like, I know it's on the SLC I'm going with, but I'm also,
I might
an eye.
divert, you know.
We shall head there.
Then
I am suspicious.
Also, we did we send our stuff to Lupula?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
sent it.
yeah.
yeah.
Should
So
probably
we're gonna
pick
need
it
to
up at some point.
prepare.
Do you want to pick that up first or after?
What's en route?
We go past Ophelia's to get up
Okay.
into the because it's like
Yeah.
the legs go up into the nest,
Mhm.
right? So
Mm.
it's based like a spider.
Somewhat.
So Ophelia's down in the peasant area.
Then you've got the upper city, and then you've got the roof of the mountain itself, which is where a lot of the richer people are.
What now?
So do you want to just carry on? Go to Lupula's, but drop off in Ophelia's lament on the way.
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
Okay. So, you guys scramble through the city with full intention. As you head through the right side, a lot of the lower city is still pretty damaged from the invasion. A lot of people are also still currently working on it, and in a really weird way. There's a lot more work and opportunity for people to earn here, and it doesn't look as shabby in terms of the people anymore. A lot of the people wear drab, small, common clothes. And now it's, like I said, kind of like bonded leathers, and some of them look like they're better armed. Whether or not that's from something to do with the council arming them or allowing them an opportunity to get more armed by this new load of work they're being given, or something of their own measure, it's a conversation for another time. But people here, while they have lost a few things, people and or their homes, they are making the best of it. And as you finally hit the square where Ophelia's stands proud at the back of it, you guys can take a second looking around and just absorb the atmosphere. Some people do stare at each of you, as is common. Some of them stare with a familiarity, though you don't stare back with the same.
They know us, but we don't know them.
Can I see anyone I recognise?
No. A lot of these.
None of the staff are the same staff. Not
Oh,
even one.
you're not even there yet. Don't worry. We'll get to that. Don't worry. The people outside, like in general, walking around doing their own thing, they all do kind of stare at you guys for a moment, and there's a little bit of hushed whispers here and there. One of you has absurd perception. What is it, and who is it?
Me.
It's Desatari.
1 second.
20 something, if
It's
I remember
like
rightly.
25?
I think it might only be 24. Let's not go over.
Oh.
I mean,
Only.
it's basically 25.
It'll be on the bottom left underneath your
Yeah.
skills.
I love that she's so like, oh, it's definitely not 25. When it's gonna
I'm
be.
trying to remember because it's because it was a feet thing. I
Mm.
don't know if I managed to change it properly or not.
Um,
Yeah, it's only 24.
Oh,
no.
only.
Oh my.
Lower.
Well, the DC was 20. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the 25.
As you guys are walking through, you can already hear everyone's whispers. They're very they're quiet, but not so quiet that you, as perceptive and wise as you are, could not hear them. A lot of it is people are, well, they're not mistaking you. It's true, but they're all talking about a group of individuals, adventurers that had saved the city. You guys know that you were. Oh, trying to find the words here. Why is my brain not working today?
Heroes, yes.
Lupula, at you guys' request, put someone else's name in your place. It seems like, however, these people don't believe they ever. It doesn't seem like they've ever actually seen the group in
Okay.
this moment. So there's an assumption that it's you guys, as you are kitted out, and you are quite clearly experienced. And as you yourself come to find, as you're listening, you guys do have an air about you, as you are powerful adventurers. You have possibly destinies beyond this world, and these people can see it just by looking at you. You pick it up in these subtle little conversations that you're hearing as you're walking by. It gets to the point where they start to blend a little, but you've got enough perceptiveness to like perceive enough to get that much. They see you as possibly the heroes that were mentioned, but there's not enough information based on what they were told for them to immediately associate you guys with it.
I will send a little mental message to Cliff/Brewin and Lycoris, saying we are getting attention. They suspect we may be the heroes who saved the city. Not
Why
telling
am
them
I
if,
left out of this?
Yeah, I don't think you'd handle the information well.
Immediately flicks the hair back. Yeah, it was me.
I do not know what you mean.
Shoulders back, chest out. Yes.
Why can't they know?
Hey, I didn't say anything. It was not my choice. You guys left the city. Was just like, no, we're not
Brewin
dealing
was
with this.
kind of a fugitive, and Lycoris's issues.
Mm.
I
Still.
don't have issues anymore because I'm legitimized, so I can get away with whatever I want. Now I'm a Nepo baby.
Okay.
To be fair, I
I'm
think
putting it in writing. Lycoris no longer has issues.
Yeah, they were all fixed immediately as soon as I was legitimized. That's how it works, right?
the second
Yeah?
you got money, it was all good.
You're just
God.
better now.
To be fair, I think Trafalgar also, when you guys were leaving, was just like, I can't get broiled up in all that. People can't know I'm here.
Well, we leave him out of it, it's fine. He made his choice.
But as you guys reach the front doors to Ophelia's Lament, the doors are well and recently polished. They look quite nice. There is a gentle blue colour that's coating them now, though. And the place has less of an immediate sex vibe, and now it's got this kind of like air of coziness almost to it.
It got worse.
Where's the horny gone?
As you,
I am disappointed.
This place has gone to the.
it's gone to shit. As you guys gently push the doors open, you find inside the following.
This can't be a temple.
That would be
Wow.
funny.
I recognise that map.
Yeah. So, for context, everything inside visually is basically the same. The only differences will be
Thanks,
there.
all here.
Oh yes. The only difference is there will be small colour changes, like little bits of like, blue, like tablecloths and that kind of thing. But for the most part, same everything. To your left, immediately, you see in the secluded area, there are 4 figures, 2 at least, maybe. Actually, no, you've seen all 4 by this point. You guys know that they are brokers, shadow or otherwise. They are informants, and generally speaking, each of you, I think, actually no, only Anessa, possibly Lycoris, would have ever had dealings with them. They are usually third persons, so to speak, for someone else. But they are just sat there, their eyes kind of cross over toward you guys. They're each currently talking amongst themselves, sharing a drink. But of course, the more important thing, up above you see a couple of familiar faces sat around the table talking to themselves. As you're walking in, doors opened. Their heads all slowly turn around and they look toward you. So, because I'm pretty sure everyone is dying to know, top left, Anriel. He, of course, one of certain members of the party's favourite at one point.
Still is.
Still is. As of the moment, you can see he is wearing, similar to what he was before, a green jacket that goes down quite decently. It's got a long tail along the back. His ears are pierced 4 times now, or specifically his left is, with 2 silver rings in between the gold. Still same face otherwise. His left eye has this slight, small like red blemish underneath it, as if he'd been struck and like a nerve got pinched or something. It looks, relatively speaking, fresh. Along his back is a long sword. Along his hip you can see a crossbow. Several bolts jammed into a quiver along his hip, with this little tie around it to keep him solidified. His face immediately curls into a bit of a smirk, but there's a little something else there. And specifically, Megan, give me an insight check.
No, I was gonna say my passive investigation also has a +5, but not the same.
You walk over, immediately grab his face, like, yes, tell me more.
Oh
Oh
no.
no!
There's something
We want
there.
to. Why were they smirking?
He looks okay, is all I will say to that. To his right, you have Kier. Of course, recently, before you left, there was a whole weird thing with Kier. A strange scythe. A strange
Can you make a deal with
tools.
something?
You can see now, Kier's appearance still has this slight pale colouring, but it's not as bad as it was. He looks more like he's recently thrown up rather than he is on death's door. His hands are currently underneath the table. His eyes turn, looks toward you all, and there is a little bit of a smile there, but it seems a little more hollow than Anriel's is. But not through looking at you all, it seems to be the face he wears. Along his... Sorry, just trying to remind myself here. Along his hip, you can just about make out some kind of sheathed blade of some kind. But you do not see, as of this moment anyway, an additional weapon. He otherwise looks, relatively speaking, happy. Bottom left, Iltsimar. Same as always, he has a free-flowing coat over his back. And his hair has grown a little bit more. He has a small little ponytail dangling down now. It's otherwise free in the breeze and pushed back for the most part. He turns a little grin on his face. A book is on the table in front of him. It seems about the size of a ledger. It is huge, and it was sat to an almost middle page. As he looks over, he hangs his arm around the chair, looks over toward you, Asatari. Make another insight check.
Which one's this one? Sorry, Danny was talking about Pepper.
Iltsimar.
It's the man.
Insight. Let's go. Fuck's sake!
Oh my god, this is a +5
She's,
as well.
she's just really disappointed that this is not a sexy place anymore.
Yeah, I
okay?
am struggling
The
to overcome,
vibe,
like,
the vibe is so wrong that
It's
it's
thrown
just
me off.
throwing everything off.
He kind of stares at you for a second, and then his eyes start to drift at the others.
Yeah.
So, next, your uncle, of course. He is wearing the same uniform that those, the sort of police force around here wears. He seems to be working with Aelin for some reason. Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe he's settled down. How very weird. You must question him. However, also, he has a short sword on his hip. He has assorted small knick-knacky like gems and stones on the table directly in front of him, and a small coin pouch dangling from his hip. Turns around, and I'm not going to say what he said just yet. I'll do Freed first, but he does turn and he will immediately say something toward you, and then do something. But Freed, similarly, is wearing one of the spider outfits, one of the enforcer's outfits. He is also now working for Aelin. However, similarly to what you would expect for Freed, he has become some sort of a higher status figure in their squad. You could call it a captain, maybe. He has this black steel cap along his head that has this. It looks like a series of spider legs over the head of the cap that wrap around. He turns around, makes a quick hello gesture to you all. Along his back, he still has his great sword. You see the handle now has a black leather bonding. And otherwise, he's still the same man. He's got maybe a few little more wrinkles than you'd expect, but he is actually a pretty elderly man, technically. So, as you guys enter, Uldir immediately stands up, kicks the chair aside, looking over toward you all, immediately just shouts, "Asatari!"
So, which one said this?
Your uncle.
Yay!
And he's literally full bolting at you right now.
Is he drunk?
Could be.
I'm stepping out the way.
I'll
preparation.
open my arms and say into his head, not out loud.
Yes.
Uncle Sam.
Don't know what that means. Grabs you, pulls you into the air, and starts spinning you as if you were a ballerina.
Oh.
Knocks.
Just very happily wrap my arms around his neck and give him a kiss on the cheek.
As he stops spinning you and lets you down enough to let your feet touch the ground, he kind of just takes a little step back and looks you up and down. You've done something different with yourself. Did you do something with your hair?
Maybe. Well, I did actually get, I've started doing my plait a little bit different, but you know, it's not a big deal.
Well, whatever it is, it suits you. You just... He looks around the room, looks at everyone else. Just kind of like trying to gauge something from them. And then he looks at you. He tilts his head a little past you and looks at Anessa.
I give him a little wave and a shy smile.
He kind of just nods to you. Turns back, looks at you as Asatari and goes, so it wasn't her then.
What?
You weren't the true love, clearly.
There he
When
is.
when we last met, did did Anessa have all her legs, or she already maimed herself?
I can't remember.
No, she cut her leg off after
Yeah.
after we'd fallen in with him.
I'm now a cripple.
Start limping, really milk it.
Make sure everyone gives her looks.
Hmm.
It just makes me look cool. It's fine.
Well.
She rocks
Everyone's like, oh no, what happened? You're like, I did it myself.
You're like, it was nothing. It was a
It
really
sounds
hard
like
battle, but I made it out
really-
alive.
a really sad
I lost it in the war saving a man.
I did it to try to save my brother.
To save the bad
Actually,
So,
So that's why you just be vague and say it was worth it for the lives that I saved, and then just leave it at that, and it sounds
such
way
a good
cooler.
idea. That does sound very Anessa too.
Sorry, carry on.
you're. I'll ask you that later.
I want to
Well.
know it wasn't me.
He claps his hands. It is good to see you. Tell me, Nope, wait, nope, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go see everybody, come on. And he kind of like takes you by the hand and starts walking you over.
I'll glance back at everyone, but very happily go along with him.
So,
I'm glaring
Trundle
around the room.
behind. Actually, can I? Is this Oros?
nope, Oros is big boy to
That
the
one.
left. Yeah.
That's the one. I was like, is someone looking blue? I'm not making my
Is
face
it- It's because they're genasi of each element.
Oh, that makes very much sense. I'm just gonna say to these, I'll be over in a second, and I'm gonna make my way over and just kind of. I can't remember how I did it before because it was like the first session. I can't remember how I went about approaching him. Did I
Make it up as you go.
Huh?
Make it up.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna hang around in his field of vision and just.
Stare.
No, she's doing the anime thing.
No, I'll. It's because of the thieves thing, so I'll just say something in thieves' can that basically means like free
So-
talk or something.
Eh?
I thought you said something, and I was like, oh.
So, as a story is dragged away, like Horus's haunting, Nessa, you give the spiel. All four of them kind of do turn and look, but Oros just kind of like clicks his fingers and just says, "She is mine, thank you."
Ooh, like that.
Iris, the one who is opposite to him, says, "That would be the case if she hadn't visited me once or twice. But whatever."
Double dipping, that's naughty.
I'll come in. I can take a seat now, right? I have spoken to this person multiple times in the past, like quite
Yeah.
familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
I will sit down and I'll just do the usual thing that we do when I want some information, like updates basically about what's going on and leads. He knows what to say, right? He knows what I'm after.
You may have to remind me because it's been a while. So,
I
let-
do not remember anything about it, so
fuck, me neither. I will figure that out.
you could just make it up. It's fine.
Didn't
Yes.
Trafalgar also go to him for extra
Yeah.
information / jobs too?
I
Mhm,
think
Yeah.
we might have been after the same thing
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
because I
Was-
did an
was-
insight check on Trafalgar when he went to him, and I think I didn't roll very well, but I got the impression that he wanted the same thing that I did.
So basically, isn't the guy like a contractor of sorts?
Who knows?
A fixer of jobs?
Who knows?
I'm like I generally look for information about the area, but because my background is that I was an arcane thief, I would go after like magical artifacts and things like that to try and make some money, and particularly spell scrolls. That's how I know so many spells.
Too many. The whole
Too many
Argos
spells.
catalogue.
But yeah, I would like scribe them and then sell them on basically. So that's the kind of thing that I've spoken to him about before. So he
Yeah.
knows what to tell me, and because things are different, I'm kind of just looking for information about what's going on because he knows everyone.
So, firstly, in terms of knowing everything and everyone, with that item in particular, he will inform you that all it really is sort of like a key to the city deal. It's something you can only really get from someone of a equivalent nobility that isn't the king and or queen. So someone like Lycoris's mother could only ever give it once. But even then, it's something that you have to go to the council of nobles and lords and be like, this person deserves this to get it, and then you're allowed to go wherever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want.
Right. So nobility. My new friend's nobility. Is it nobility specifically here or?
Yeah.
That's. Oh, I was gonna say that would be a cool play.
Yeah.
It
That
is
would be very interesting.
it's called what it is because you're only allowed to use it in the circles of
Okay.
here.
But is he linked to here?
You don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna put down maybe he has one. So there's multiple of these things. Has to go to the council to prove that you can have one.
To prove that you're going to use it for either the betterment or at least not the detriment.
Okay.
It's sort of like a
So-
lifetime pass kind of idea. But if you ever lose it, then, repercussions.
So Lycoris might potentially have one.
She could
Oh.
be issued one.
I don't know why I want it because I can't remember what it is. I think it must be for some contract for someone. Someone must have asked me to get it for them. But I don't know. I'll leave that with you, Lee, because I don't remember. I have keen mind now, though, so I will remember.
Within a month.
Yes.
I don't have to tell you shit now. Ha ha ha.
One. Can Lycoris get one? So what can he tell me about the city and the state of it then? Because all the spiders is very interesting. It makes me feel very welcome.
So, in general, what I already told you about the new laws is most of the reason, really. The council themselves have started recruiting lower city and upper city members who've shown any degree of decent martial prowess that can be controlled, is the easy way to put it. The difficulty is that there wasn't that many people left to begin with in the lower city after, zombie invasion.
Yep.
So, instead, they decided to speed up the release date of some slaves and some people who were trapped below in what you guys knew as a sort of this world underdark. People who were considered prisoners have been inducted, shall we say, in the least literal way, and mind-controlled in the more literal way to do the bidding of the council. Now, because you guys already have met Lycoris's father, you know that could have more connotations than you'd expect, because their whole, let's put it as it is, their cult is based on the cult of the mind. It's a whole elongated thing. I won't bore you with it unless you want to know. But essentially they control their followers through vampirism and mind control. So there's the chance that some of these guards have been mind controlled to do the job, because they were once prisoners or slaves, to make sure they do not go rambunctious themselves.
They do not revolt. So the council has mind controlled them to keep them in line, basically. Cool. So what's the whole spider thing about?
It's just because Drow society has always adored the matron Lolth,
Okay, cool.
so they have a spider
Drow.
motif.
Drows like spiders, so spider armor makes sense. I'm just getting suspicious because of mother. She's a spider too.
Mm.
Does he have any more leads then? Because the spider seal is a work. Oh, it's a work in progress.
As of the
'Cause I
moment,
forgot about it. I didn't know what it was.
no, that's fine.
Basically.
Deals are still being made, but the problem is that to get you a spider seal, they specifically have to find someone with it in the first place, or someone that can issue it or has issued it. The problem is that no one has issued one in over 100 years, so it's the case of finding someone that can earn one.
Is it like a bad thing to try and get? Like, I don't even know.
No, it's literally a key to the city. With it, you can hold it up to any member of any military or any security force that's within Aelin and tell them, I belong here, I am checking this out by the full force of the law, you will get out of my way.
Basically, just like ultimate authority, just
Mhm.
pass to everything. Triple A.
You could
pass.
literally walk up to Lycoris's mother with that and say, I'm checking your house over, get out
Oh
of the
my
way.
God. Wow. Okay.
And she could only say, fine.
So that's why I want it, because it'll help me along my way with my exploits.
Mm.
Cool. So no more leads. Just keep trying to look for that.
He does recommend at the end of the conversation that with the kind of power that you hold now and the fact that you are in cahoots with Lycoris, that you try through that channel to get your name recognized. Or at the very least, maybe not you, but maybe her. If one of you can admit, and he will specifically state admit, that you were some of the heroes, if not all of the heroes, that actually saved this place. Because it's not like you don't have people who couldn't back you. And he specifically states Lupilla's name, Lycoris's mother, and the fact that he knows fully well that these, air quote, unnamed heroes, but clad in etc. etc. are actually you guys. You could easily walk to one of the nobles and say you are the ones who did it. You would like your name to go on the record and you want them to be acknowledged with a key to the city, aka Spider Seal.
My goodness me. That sounds cool. Okay, so I'll make a note to speak to Lycoris about it.
But yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if that's for someone, if someone's commissioned me to get it, or if I just want it for me. I probably want to sell it, so
Well,
I bet that would
again,
be a lot of money.
it is one of those, if it goes into the wrong hands, they could do anything in the city. And people
Yeah.
couldn't say no because it's a spider seal.
Yeah, which at the start of all this, Inessa wouldn't be bothered about because she'd get paid a lot for it, but now it's kind of like, do I want a bad person to have it? Maybe not.
You've already seen the evils of the world so far.
Yeah, she wouldn't have cared before. Interesting. Okay, I thank him, and do I pay him gold? I can't remember what I do. What's the etiquette?
It's sort of a commission thing. You used to bring spell scrolls, and he would pay you for them or give you information in return. So, at the minute, it's an equal exchange. He can always find you if you ever try to rub him off, Giggity.
Well, I do have some scribed scrolls that I've got because I'd already took the spell, so I can give him. I'll give him a scribed scroll of sleep.
Okay.
In return.
Okay. So he will take that, place it into his little sash.
Thank you. I will nod to fire lady person.
She gives you a wink.
Oh yeah, we were flirting when we like met. I remember.
That
I'm just gonna.
that deal is still on, you know.
Okay.
That's me. That's not Anessa.
So, Lycoris. Actually, well, Rachel.
Yeah.
Just a reminder. I did say I'm like 1000%. No, wait. Never mind. Sorry, we will carry on. I've just realised something very funny, and I can't even say it yet. As you are walking through, looking around, seeing old memories of this place, when you just hunt and return home here for some meals. This place is still the same. Like, you can paint it slight different colours, you can remove some of the odd bricks, but this is still the same home. And the person that you're looking for is probably not here. Or if they were, as your eyes drift toward the staircase, she is not walking down them. There is no familiar face to greet you here.
Familiar faces. Wait, Danny's playing guitar.
I will still keep my guard up just in case. He's a betrayer.
In the start, I was telling Vlad to wait outside because it was a brothel, but now I'm like, oh, it's cozy, it's fine if I come on in. So he's gonna walk in with Ravi. I don't think did they come here before, didn't they?
Yup.
They came here when
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a brothel, so
Yeah, he did. But then I didn't trust him because he started talking to people and talking about stuff, and I was like, you should know these things.
and then he was like, "I'm not a child, sister.
Yeah,
I
and
know
it
what to do here."
No,
and then you were
I
like,
like
"Ah!"
it. I don't like it.
Sister, need I remind you what mother did all the time when we were young?
Exactly. Yeah. Bro
he didn't-
knows what's going on.
He didn't see it. He didn't see it. He didn't hear it. It was
I
fine.
have ears.
No, I cast silence on the room.
That's a higher level spell than you had at level 1. Ha!
Damn it.
Yeah, as you all walk in.
Big chicken.
The gang over
Everyone's
here.
seen chicken before, right?
Uh,
Everyone has met him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I would just say yes.
Yeah,
Either way,
that's
this is
fine.
not the strangest thing they've seen in the last month.
That's okay then.
So, as everybody wanders in, the crew immediately each says in unison, "Welcome home." As you all kind of like crowd a little, Anriel steps up and over with a little distance between himself and you, Lycoris, and not intentionally, it's not like that, it's more of a he's just stepped forward waiting for you to come a little closer before he does. As he looks you over, just still that same grin. Puts his hands like gently against his hip. Just looks at you, and there's that lowering of the eyebrows, just a millisecond, that kind of is like a stab in the heart for a moment as you're worried about what he's about to say. But then there's that same goofy smile, and you remember the time in Alden when you two were sat in his room, his shoddy little shack of a room, and just shooting the shit about life and your pasts, and back when things were much easier. His eyes glance off and over toward the trapper, and
drama.
he squints for a second. Hold on, isn't that the... He turns and looks at you.
Did we fight him at some point? We were fighting him. Was he fighting him?
Is he not
Oh
the
no.
guy who wanted to kill everybody in Alden?
Yeah, there's. I pinch the bridge of my nose and I'm like, so much shit has happened.
Freed, like, off on the side, just goes, "Oh, come on, it's fine. We have dealt with this. Let bygones be bygones, Unreal."
I want Lycoris to go over and like hold the trapper's hand, or Trapper come to hold her hand,
No.
and he's just like, "Whoa!" Oh, it would be amazing. It'd be like 90 Day Fiance. I've been really loving 90 Day Fiance recently, so I'm just here for all the like relationship drama right now. I'm like, come on, guys, come on, play it up.
I will just like pat Anriel on the shoulder and just say, "I'm glad to see you're not dead, because you looked like you were about to be when we left.
Oh yeah, about that. Sort of still unresolved, but also not as bad anymore. Some. What did you say his name was, Freed? He turns around. Freed just looks at him. It's Roderick. I've told you 7 times. Do not make me repeat myself. Again. Yeah, that guy. Said something about lowering a storm cloud or something and letting us get to the tomb we need to so I can remove this. He takes off one of his gloved hands and you see this kind of like bluey black veins like in the center of his palm moving down his wrist.
Does it look way worse than it did before?
They look stable is as best as you can put to it without a like proper medicine check or an arcana check, that kind of thing. He
Can I
looks
do a medicine
fine.
check?
Yeah, go for it.
We're gonna like grab his hand and just like turn it over. Like, you know, like when a child comes over screaming and they're like, eh?
Mhm.
And you're like, do you take the hand and you're like, okay, what is actually hurt here? Get a grip.
Oh, so this affliction of his seems to have been halted in some way. You can feel the vein, the weird like. There's no like pulsation of it or anything. It's just there. It's like I can't remember what you call it. It's like having something just go inert, essentially. You can still feel it's very physically there, but it's not doing anything. And judging by how he looks, he's not like sickly. He's not. He's quite clearly standing on his own 2 feet, and he's still wielding swords. So he's obviously still going out into the wilderness to hunt, and/or going outside to fight. He's fine. Whatever he and Kier have had to do is working. But the question is what they've been doing to do so. Because the fact that this magical affliction is stabilized means he could only have done a magical fix. So, he is otherwise fine.
I'm gonna look at him with a look that's like, you guys have been doing something. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to be preachy, but I give the look that's like,
Hey, look. It's not like that. I know what you're assuming. But he turns to his left and claps his hand on Iltzimar's shoulder. This lovely fella here. Then Iltzimar turns around, just raises an eyebrow. His head has fully been like pointed in Esatari's direction. Yes. Sorry. What's going on? Yeah. This fella. He's been helping. Long story short, he and Kier and I have figured out a way to, and then he shakes his hand free, to stabilize that. It's only gonna last if we keep doing it every single day. So it's kind of the reason why I need to get that Roderick guy to hurry things up, but he said there's only so much he can do, given that he's trapped on something or another. He was talking a lot and I didn't really get it, and to be honest his accent is a little bit rough, so I stopped really asking. But he said it would be about another month, at least.
well, I would have offered to take you there ourselves, but we'll probably not be back here in a month.
Yeah, what have you guys been doing anyway? Or, you know what, just we'll save that for when everyone's done saying hellos. How are you doing?
I will look panicked immediately, and then just be like, I'm fine.
Still not got any issues anymore.
No, I'm all fixed now.
Do you say that in character,
No.
Asatari?
I like the idea the other side of the table as Atari's like, she's all fixed now.
I will say it into Lycoris's head, but no one
Nice.
else's.
Yeah, and I'll say it back. I am, since I got legitimized there.
Everything's fine because money.
Oh, there has been a lot of not great updates, though.
Hmm.
Trafalgar's gone home permanently.
Raises an eyebrow.
That was the whole thing.
Oh.
We've picked up a few more rays, I guess.
He looks at the back and looks at the giant chicken. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
that.
I mean, up until a day ago, he was stoned, so you know. Esatari and Anessa are. That's done.
Was it ever really a thing?
When I say that, I want to look kind of side eye Iltmar to see if he reacts.
Just as a note as well, Esatari, you immediately hear everything they're saying. Because passive 24.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so you know, I thought they had a thing, and then like.
And
I
again,
think
I'm
they
just
thought they
speaking
had a
into Lycoris's
thing.
head, like, is this really necessary? Have a bit of tact.
What are you talking about? What did I come back to?
that's appropriate.
Yeah, I'm saying that, and then as soon when she starts telling me off in my head, I'm gonna be like, "Mom's telling me off in my head. I'm gonna stop."
He looks.
You say that out loud.
Yeah. Lycoris is being more social now. She's
is.
breaking down those barriers. And then as soon as she says that, she will catch herself being too casual and then look really embarrassed.
Oh,
Firstly,
Oh, no.
Samar just kind of looks. There is a little bit of a movement of the eyebrows, but he doesn't seem any more concerned. Unreal just kind of
oh yeah.
just gently strokes his forehead. Yep, you're all as complicated and clearly unaware of each other's feelings as always. So yeah, okay.
Oh, and that man there, that's Bruin. I'm not going to even explain any of them. Just like, oh yeah, and that's Bruin.
Turns and looks at him.
Do you say that out loud to the point I hear that as well?
Is his perception high enough?
What is your passive perception?
My passive perception. 1 second, I need to find this out
Behind.
quickly.
Bottom left.
Yeah, no, host. I meant sheet-wise. I hadn't had it open for some reason. Passive
Oh.
perception is 12.
No.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just going to continue standing there next to Esatari, looking a bit awkward at everyone being familiar with each other.
Unreal looks over at him, and he's fully like staring, not daggers, but he's piercing to the point it might be, and he's fully like staring at you and looking up and down like, there is no fucking way.
Do I
What did you
notice
do
this?
to him? You do, and then you see his eyes start to drift away.
Don't worry, he just died.
Yeah, he died, and you know, when we found him, he looked like this. So
Any other questions?
I sort of look at Lycoris and the guy she's talking to and just give a raised eyebrow if Lycoris looks at me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one at some point.
I'll let him explain it. We weren't there, you know, better first-hand testimony than second-hand. All I know is he woke up, and in true Bruin style, he was already getting laid.
I slowly
Oh.
but surely
Was he?
walk over.
I don't remember this.
He woke up with a naked maid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was screaming because I was covered in blood.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
What? How did she not know?
I'm
Because
assuming they were together, and then he got killed while she was asleep slash
Yeah.
passed out, drunk.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yes, I sort of walk over with a raised eyebrow and just say, Hello there.
Weird as it sounds, that simple introduction does kind of give Big Brewin energy.
I sort of looked to Lyca or so and, yeah, we're having this conversation, aren't we?
Hmm. I mean, I explained the sort of the basics of it. Dead, alive, now look like this.
You could just say resurrection. I'm sure people know what resurrection is.
True, but most of the time when you get resurrected, you're resurrected in your own body.
Whoa,
This
whoa,
is
whoa,
this is
whoa,
more
whoa,
like
but
this is
you're
more like
all-
reincarnation.
You're all talking like that's normal. Now,
Hey,
don't get me
I-
wrong. None of us here are normal. He holds up his hand, then points at literally all of you. But resurrection, reincarnation, any of that into another body is really not normal. What?
No,
Hey, most of us have died in the past month. I mean, we're all fine now.
Lad hugs Ravi close.
I look to him and I just say, yeah, it's not exactly well been simple. Would be nice if it was simple, but, well... I sort of look to myself and I say, to be honest, I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah, the last few times people died, we got them back in their own bodies pretty quickly.
I sort of lean into him and I just say, I occasionally have this guy's memories floating around my head.
I think we should probably talk about resurrection things a little bit quieter here. As much as it pains me.
As much as I'm enjoying it.
Freed behind you, or above you all, just goes, I wouldn't worry so much, as long as you don't cast that magic. Nobody here is going to find you. Speaking about it isn't illegal, by the way.
We've done far more illegal things anyway.
La 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 la, I representative cannot hear you.
Outside of the gates of Gustodon,
Yes, of course.
in Gustodon we have been nothing but law-abiding citizens.
His eyes.
Trafalgar's not here, so
I was gonna.
Yes, Alga's not here, so we actually have.
You see his head starts nodding as he realizes Trafalgar's not here.
put my hand up slightly. I, for one, have never been arrested by you.
He also
Wasn't
hasn't,
specified.
He also hasn't died yet. She's doing pretty well in the not getting bad things happening. I mean, Inessa's died, right?
I think so, but I don't remember.
Inessa's died, and Brewin's died. I mean, and
When
then
did I die?
You died.
You
You
did
died.
die.
You did die. You
Y-
died
yeah.
in the castle. You died in
remember
the
I
old
died.
castle.
I just
And we
didn't
had to
remember
get-
how I died.
You
That would be
died.
most important.
You died in the same battle that Brewin died in.
Oh.
Mm.
So Brewin and Nessa died together, and then before they died, Trafalgar got ripped in half in front of me, and then I
Mhm.
resurrected him. And then I died first, but
Yeah,
then
you
I
did.
automatically came back as old me, so I was fine.
And the
It was
curse
an intense
began.
fight.
And the curse began.
Yeah. Now if I die another time, I kind of don't exist anymore, so let's try and avoid that.
Yes.
We're saying this all very
Especially here.
casually.
Yeah.
With Freed
How you know
chirping
we've
in,
been through shit.
I'm going to more or less notice that and just walk over to him for a handshake and say, Freed, it's been a while, Captain.
He hasn't been privy to the prior conversations, so he's just looking at you like, yes. He moves his hand very slowly toward you and shakes it, fully unclear of who you are.
I'm just going to look him in the face and see if he looks at me in the face and just realises the eyes, because my eyes... I think my eyes were the only thing that
Mm-hmm.
more or less stayed with me
Mm-hmm.
the same.
They're the last to go.
That's ominous.
So now you guys are romantically staring into each other's eyes.
He kind of just...
I
I'm
would
here
have
for
loved it if Brewin didn't realise that he doesn't know who he is and just carried on.
I'd love it.
He gets really offended that no one realises who he is.
so rude. No one remembers me.
He's just talking to him about all this stuff that he knows, and he's like, "Who are you, and how do you know so much?" Oh my god.
Draws his sword.
Yes.
He kind of just stares for a second. His eyes kind of like shrink. He's like looking at you intently. There is a vague degree of recognition, but he's not understanding the situation.
I feel his shake get lighter, and I just say, I look to my hand. I'm like, oh, I sort of like take away my hand. I'm like, sorry. Things have happened, but at one point you may have. I'll lean in a little bit and just say, you did call me Brewin.
His head tilts back a little, and he looks at you, and as you're like moving back just enough, he takes a little, moves his head forward a little bit, and just kind of looks at your face and just goes, "That is an absurdity. Hold on, wait, if you are, this will be silly, but what is the way that Vortigern the Bandit died?"
Do I really need to?
Yes.
I sort of look and I say, to be honest, I would love to show a demonstration with the cup of water you have over there, but I've been told that magic's a bit of a no-no, so I've got to be careful with what I can and can't do.
Is that an enchantment?
No.
But it's still illegal to drown someone to death.
Well,
Can still demonstrate.
that was that was veiled enough, but true. So I should accept it as matter of fact. You are who you are. It is a
It's been
pleasure to see you again.
It's been, well, a time. Let's just say that.
Yes, it would seem you all have a new air about you, which, don't get me wrong, even when we'd first all met, you were all up and comers. You were new adventurers, but there was clear promise, even in the texture of your muscle and bone. But now looking at all of you, you've all experienced so much. I can see it simply just by your eyes. I can see you're all battle-hardened. You're all true adventurers now. And despite how vague they were about the supposed heroes of Dolan and Aelin, I know now for certain it's all of you, isn't it?
Yes, legally, well, for reasons we can't say it openly, but, yeah.
As expected. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, all of you should know. Alden is on its way to reparations. This time, however, they're thinking about having certain unnecessary parts put onto the bridge itself and housing put on either end, and maintaining gateways to and fro the actual bridge itself, and extending some of the areas so that Alden in the future isn't just straight up blown up and everyone's lives are lost, or mauled constantly by monsters. And that is entirely in thanks to all of you and your friend Lupula, and a anonymous donator. I wasn't told the specifics of that one. All I was told is they are related to one of you.
Looks to like yours.
I'm looking over at the bar, pretending not listening.
Ooh, the bar, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm looking over at the bar with hope.
Fully stocked.
Who owns this place? Are we allowed to just go and take drinks, or?
That's
Hey!
that's actually the weird bit. A little bit of the benefactor has been misconstrued at some point. We're not too sure who it is.
Say no more. And Nessa's gonna walk over to the bar and swipe a bottle
Whoosh.
and some glasses, and I'm just gonna start pouring drinks for people. And I'll put a silver piece on the bar. Well, I'll start walking away from it, and then turn around and put a silver piece down, and then carry on walking.
I thought you were gonna say you're gonna turn around and pick it up again.
Can I rummage? Can I rummage to where they used to keep vodka?
Yes.
It's even better.
So
I'm gonna just
What,
have
what
a
did I
little
pick up?
rummage.
I don't even know.
You got a bottle of wine.
yeah.
I really have changed.
Same, bro.
Like
So
Horace knows where the good stuff is.
there is
Yes.
there is
where it
always a
used to be.
secret stash hidden behind some of the cabinets where you literally have to rip the cabinets out of the way. And luckily, like Horace is strong enough, so she goes behind it, near the bottom end, is this little safe that's been put into the wall. You know the combination. Open it very quickly, and there's like 12 bottles of this high-end, crystal cold vodka ready and waiting to be served.
Is there anything else in there, or is it just the vodka?
At the back of it, there is a pouch of gold, but beyond that, no.
Can I just look in the pouch of gold?
Yes.
Just I want to see how much is in there, and just make sure there's no notes or anything. I
So
don't mean banknotes. I mean like letters.
the pouch itself is still like tied up and sealed. Do you open and or jangle or?
I opened that shit.
Okay. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Ah, fuck.
Oh no!
I've got the vodka in my hand. That's all that matters, guys.
Is that your final roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, because it wasn't that dangerous. So, as you start to unbind it, immediately there's this tss, like hiss of a gas. It doesn't do anything for you and your constitution, but the second you get this little whiff of it, or it enters your system, your head feels a little bit fuzzy and you start to feel a little bit wobbly and you kind of like fall back onto your butt, and luckily the bottle doesn't smash, but you feel this dizzying headache, and for the next 10 minutes that dizzying headache will continue because you are intoxicated.
I'm gonna lie on my back, and then because I have no inhibitions, because I'm intoxicated, I'm just gonna shout that fucking bitch as
All of you.
loudly as I can shout it.
Oh, they already heard you slam onto the dirt, so
I'd like to go over and check on her.
I'm cradling the vodka.
I'm just gonna excuse myself.
I nod, understanding.
I give Brewin a pat on the back. I give my uncle a little squeeze around the waist. I'll lightly brush Iltzima's shoulder.
he looks at
And-
you lovingly, touches your ass, calls you honey. No,
Oh my
obviously,
God.
obviously not.
He
Slaps
gets
his
all
hand
tense.
away.
She's like, ugh, okay, well, we're done.
And I'll go tend to my totally fine, unproblematic friend.
Yeah, as soon as I see her, I'm gonna just start mumbling like, after all she's done, she fucks with my memory, and now she puts a trap in the vodka cage. It's just not right.
It was probably intended for me if it was in the vodka cage. It's not normally your drink of choice.
You can see on the floor the pouch that she'd opened. On the inside, you can see almost like it was intentionally displayed to trick someone. Inside of the pouch, the coins are organized in the way that the thing in the center keeps them held at the edge. In the middle is a small little vial, the lid of which is open, and from the inside of the pouch, this gentle pinkish gas slowly hissing its way out, and it seems to be the thing that she got hit with. Looking at it, you know if you get any closer and get even a single whiff of that, you'll probably get hit with whatever she got hit with as well.
Hey, Anessa, get over here! No,
Just wander over.
The bottle at the table and see what happens.
no, I didn't actually call you over. It's in a pouch, right?
I'm still walking
Yeah.
over with glasses and pouring one out for everyone.
I'll pull out my sword and I'll try and kind of hook it round the pouch and push it further away from Lycoris.
Mhm.
And me.
Yes. You see that the gas that's hissing out is, as long as you like stay away from it, it'll probably hiss out and just dissipate in the next couple of minutes. So,
And yeah, I'll sit down and inspect her. Is she just...
make a medicine or arcana check.
Time to get another 9, let's go! I'm actually better at Arcana, I didn't know that.
Hey,
2
double.
9s!
Yeah. So, as you look her over, you can already see from the pouch itself it's some kind of gas, but the effect has to be some kind of magical thing. You feel like she would have overcome this if it was a simple toxin. As you kind of like inspecting her, your eyes kind of flicker. There's no fey touch of it. However, there is this weird clinging. It's like if you put a blue light to a room and you'd see all the cum stains. It's kind of that effect, where this gas this gas is like stuck along her face, and it's these little magical like particles of some kind. The gas itself isn't the problem. It seems to be what was fused with it. You can easily dispel it, however, like in a snap.
But that's magic. No, although I do... No, the wand only does detect magic, it doesn't dispel magic. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was typing what Lycoris is now just shouting from on the floor.
Yeah, because I had the wand of identification, which I was
Oh.
going to ask, does that count as casting a spell? But it just detects, it doesn't dispel. Can I tell how long the effect might last?
I'd say with that it's like in the range of like 10, 20, upwards of an hour, but it doesn't seem that potent.
I'll try and encourage her to get to her feet. Put the vodka bottle down.
Come on, dearie.
I will hold the bottle out to her. I'm not putting it down, but I'll hand it to her.
I'll say, oh, thank you. Let's go drink it over here on this lovely, chaise longue.
Sure.
I'll lie down over here if I can.
I'm gonna lie face down into a pillow. Full on face down.
I make sure her airways are clear.
What is it about this place that every time Lycoris comes here, she has a breakdown?
And I'll give her a little pat on the head. And I'll say, I'm just gonna share this vodka with everyone else.
I'll give her a thumbs up.
I'll leave her there, taking the bottle with me. There was none of the bad stuff in the actual vodka, it was just the pouch, right?
It was just a pouch, yeah. So, as you bring it over, everyone else is already like slowly sipping bits of wine that Anessa's brought over. Everyone's
Nessa and I look at each other like, what have we become? I've got the vodka, she's got the wine.
oh no, we've traded. Am I gonna get issues now?
I have enough for everyone, don't worry.
What vodka or issues?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
I'm gonna hold out the wine bottle to Esatari and hold my hand out for the vodka bottle.
I'll just give a little kind of nod and exchange.
So,
I'll give her a little smile
as you guys,
and turn to everyone and say "Prost!" and then I drink some from the bowl.
everyone like drinks or shots equivalent to whatever they feel comfortable with. Also, if it helps to know, the wine drinkers are Kia, Fried, and Iltzma. The vodka drinkers are Anriel and Uldir.
What a surprise.
Oh yes. That's
Inessa
never
tasted
good
some of
at
the wine because she was trying to be sophisticated, and she was like,
She didn't know vodka. She didn't know vodka was
Yeah.
on the menu.
Yeah.
no, she did not.
Picked
She
up
was
the
trying
first
to be
bottle.
nice.
As all of you enjoy a little, we'll call it a celebratory drink for the moment, you see that though the room is quiet other than your presence, there is something nice here. Seeing everyone again, seeing the fruits of your labours in the past, seeing the accumulation of your allies in one place, or at least, a decent amount. The merriment continues for like half an hour. In that time, they will regale you with their own stories before getting to the meat and bones of you guys' stories. Frida, for example, alongside Uldir, they had helped the people of Alden settle into one of these established areas that Lupilla had made for them in the mountain itself near the nest. They have been given temporary residence there as Lupilla's. I can't remember what the technical term for it is, but his visitors essentially, and are welcomed as part of his own family in essence. Obviously, it's like giving someone your shed when you live in a mansion, but he in turn, and more so because he had Wanderlust, agreed to help the people of the lower city after everything had occurred, and since his own people are being tended to, he tends to Lupilla's people, and he wanders the lower city as a captain of one of the legs guard. Specifically, he is called technically an enforcer, a spiderweb snare enforcer, but more specifically he prefers to be, as he's always been, a guard. However, he is fully aware and is also tuned in on occasions where if you guys ever cast a spell, he would immediately be told. He lets you know that, similar to every other enforcer, anyone that's of captain level or above, they each have, and then he pulls out a necklace that he's wearing, and you see a ring. He holds it up in front of you, and you see there are multiple little studded gems inside of it. Places it back down. Every time that a spell of a certain kind is cast, which obviously you know is enchantment or necromancy, within 300 feet of him, the ring itself begins to hum and vibrate to the point that you can't ignore it. You are automatically attuned to it while wearing it on your person in any way, shape or form, and given the exact direction of the nearest source of that magic. He has been, to everyone else's admittance that they've seen of him, as you expect of him, he has been doing his due diligence. Anytime someone has been caught casting such magics, he has been first and foremost there, if he can help it, to stop anyone else going there and deciding that person's fate on the spot. Kieran and Riel, of course, already knew Iltsamar. They've met him a whole bunch of times. Thanks to you guys, of course, and because when the invasion happened, they were on the front lines with him here to stop the infestation. They have been spending time talking and getting to know each other, getting to know how they knew you and vice versa. They've also been working to help figure out things in Lower Town and figure out how to help him with the shop, though he still closed it anyway. When they heard this place was under attack, they came here to help. Lupilla eventually recruited them and mentioned that Freed and his people needed some assistance. And in that same occasion, Uldir then came to Freed and wanted to help a bit more, so he joined him, becoming an enforcer. And he ended up meeting those three. In one way or another, Lupilla recruited them all to some extent, told them all why they all know each other, why they all know you, and they started basically adventuring together in the loosest sense in Aelin. And they are, in essence, Uldir not so much. He's still more a smithy / explorer, but he has a temporary enforcer license while he's here to help people and stop people that are worse behaved than your magic casters would be. because he, in his own specific words, does not want Esatari or you all to come back to a place where you are forced to do things you do not want to simply because others have misused magic. They also mention that Lupilla said he would be coming tonight, however he may be late.
Oh
But-
no.
So we don't even have to leave. We can just stay here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kieran and
Convenient.
Riel had, before they'd met everyone properly, wandered out towards Alden in an attempt to find some way to traverse. Maybe via sea, but that didn't work out because all seafaring travel had been abandoned because of the attack until they knew for certain fact that it was fine again. So they had to abandon that plan for a while. Then they tried to get other mages to aid them via teleportation, but no one strong enough was around, and they were just adventurers. They couldn't pay for such things. In the meantime, they got to know Ilsamar properly, and he concocted through strenuous hours of work a way to still the illness that's spreading along his hand, and somehow managed to save Kia in the process. And that's the soft version of what they've been up to. Mostly just keeping the people safe and themselves. But what do you guys want to say and or ask them? If anything.
Am I conscious yet?
When did you pass out?
I got poisoned.
Put her to bed.
That's the
Oh.
on the chaise long.
Oh, right. Oh, the boys are sat over here by themselves. What are they doing?
I was gonna say I was considering taking the bottle of wine and vodka over and giving just definitely is there like a mild weak low alcohol beer or something around?
I'll
If
allow
not-
it.
I'll give one of them to Vlad.
I'm gonna call them over, and Ravi's gonna. I want Ravi to come like ambling over, dum 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 dum, like knock past Unreal.
It's like,
And
whoa!
yeah.
I feel a bit like the Trapper's been sat at the kiddie table.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Speech Bubble was just like hi, because
Hi.
he's got his chicken back. But yeah, I'm gonna call the Trapper over as well, and as Vlad goes past Unreal, he's just gonna be like sorry because of Ravi, and then yeah, iron up the vodka.
No, give it. I'll search for a low alcohol beer or ale or mead. That's not low alcohol.
The lowest you find is 2%.
Perfect. I will ask Anessa in her head. It's a little celebration. It's weak.
I'm going to glare at Vlad and be like, 1.
He raises an eyebrow.
And then I'm going to say thank you for checking to Esatari. I appreciate it.
Sister, let's be honest. It's not going to be 1 for me. It's not going to be 4 for you.
Shh. Have you
Hmm.
beer?
I'll give him a pat on the shoulder as I'm giving it to him, and I will say into his head, "Don't push it."
His eyes kind of drift around the room and he looks at you and there's a grin.
What does Ravi have?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Some, like,
Brandy.
a bowl of water. What, brandy? You really would be breathing fucking fire then. Jesus Christ. He could do some tricks in the background, like a fire dancer or
Like
something.
circus. For our own entertainment.
I was going Harry Potter on it when all the big mythical beasts have like strong liqueurs.
Yeah, they do, to be fair.
Well, considering
He's
Ravi,
huge.
Ravi is
Yeah.
huge and is essentially a half dragon. So
Yeah.
when I say it can take fire wine, yeah, it can handle booze.
Wow. Ravi gets really drunk. He's like, hick, next to Vlad.
I like the idea that he's
Had
just
fun.
he's on his butt with his 2 legs sticking out,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pushing against the table.
And every time he hiccups, it's like a little flame goes out of his mouth. Just like
That's
a small
So
little
cute.
Like a hiccup of fire.
And Vlad's like, excuse me, why can he drink but I can't?
Oh, whoopsie. Sylvan
Hmm.
and Primordial. Does that mean if I can speak to him?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
damn it.
what?
Druidic.
Even if I.
Um,
I'm still gonna look at him and say anyway. Be a good influence. Hmm? And I hope he understands.
he's gonna hiccup
Just-
at you and breathe a little fire.
They go, "What?" You
I've
think
spoken
that
to
means
Ravi before,
okay?
haven't I?
Yes.
Have I spoken to him using tongues?
Oh, I don't need to share a language. Yes.
Yep. There it is. I was waiting for that. Like,
No,
come
I,
on.
I thought I did need to share a language, but no, I don't need to share.
Woohoo!
Mm. You see Ravi is immediately concerned. The head starts like turning around, confused.
I'm like just looking at him like, you know me. I've healed you enough.
The head turns at a speed
feel
not
the
known by
wrath.
man.
I love it.
So, as you all grab a drink, have
Am
a
I-
swig.
Do I feel normal or do I feel hungover?
You feel like you've had whiplash suddenly. Like the second the effect ends, it's like your neck just really hurts. It feels strained, and you actually have this very, very mild headache. Like to the point you can easily ignore it, but you know it's there.
I will saunter on back to the group where I was before and pull up a stool and then just sit down looking a little bit peaky. And try and act like nothing happened.
So good. I didn't say anything.
I'm
there.
fine. It's fine. I didn't have a scream behind the bar on the floor. We're all good. Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
As you all
Issues were solved.
Jeez. As you all sit
Ooh.
with a drink, Freed stands, holds his mug up as one by one, at least all the NPCs anyway, their mugs are all raised, or glasses. Freed looks toward you all. It has been a long time, or it feels like it, since there have been so many pleasant and heroic figures here beside me. There is only one other person I would want here right now. He isn't, and I will miss him. But I just want you all to know that regardless of tomorrow, tonight even I shall drink until I am unconscious. So, let's all enjoy a drink together. They are too rare. And he draws the drink toward his mouth and
I guess it's hard with a
Shoot
bit.
shoot my vodka shot. Because that's what you do when people toast, right? You drink your drink.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, just for context, I was talking about Asado. But yeah, mold would have been a good idea too.
I know what I care about.
His dead husbando, very traumatic for him. But for Esatari, it was Sinon, obviously.
I had just decided to recruit him to the harem, so it was a tough time for me.
And didn't even get the chance.
Yeah,
I
I only
didn't-
just made the decision.
Is
Actually,
is
what's his name?
Iltsamar still watching her?
You do catch him looking every now and again, but he is focused.
Get the fuck over it, man. Come on.
He is focused on the situation. But
I was
it's,
going to say, throughout the night, I would obviously like to have a chat with him and my uncle
Mhm.
at some point.
as-
Can I just look and see if anyone's making eyes at each other? Is anyone looking at each other differently?
make a perception check
Ooh, interesting.
or an insight check.
Oh god, I'm not good at either of those. Oh, which one am I better at? Perception or insight? Let's go with perception.
Ooh. Okay, well, I was going to give it to Esatari anyway, because of course. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I love how you were saying you're not good at perception.
Yeah,
Come on.
I didn't think I didn't think I was until I looked at my character sheet. And I was
My
like,
god,
oh,
it'll
I
plus
am.
11.
Doesn't matter.
That's
I was gonna
that's.
say I'm only a +9, but +5 for passive.
So technically, she has a. What is your passive perception then? For Lyko?
21, I think.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, 21.
So, I mean, to be fair, if I knew that, you wouldn't even need to do the check. Fucking hell. Even with the check though, even better.
Yeah, what do my elf
What do
eyes
your
see?
elf eyes see? So, I'll give the rundown for all of you, but obviously, only Esatari and Lycoris really know this, as even with drinking, you are focused. So, Iltsamar is quite obviously, constantly, every now and again, looking at Esatari, not with googly eyes, more with interest. And it's that there's something strange, but I like it. She looks good. And then it's that
I thought these
slow.
were googly eyes.
It is that slow drifting of like you could believe he's looking at her with that kind of.
I was
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
I was typing my comment before you said that she looks.
Ah,
he is just appreciating your growth as a person.
It's
and
like
that's
looking at you
sexy.
with interest. It's like, I immediately thought negative.
I mean, even if your own presumptions of yourself were true, and he's still looking at you like that, it means
True.
he likes it, and or you. Aldir constantly looking at Esatari. He is chipper. He loves the fact you are essentially glowing. Also, though, he's trying to figure out what's different with you. He can tell something is there, but he's not figured it out yet. Every now and again, if he's not looking at you or in the conversation, he's like stroking his chin thinking about it. And it's only a couple of seconds every now and again, as if he's figured something out, but then he just goes, no, that's not it, and carries on thinking again. Trapper is looking around at everybody, and though he's very good at hiding his intentions, he is eyeballing Anriel. His tells are not obvious, so I would really only say Lycoris would see them, but you know that every now and again there's these little twitches when he's thinking about something and looking at Anriel, that maybe there's a bit of a concern there for later.
Considering Lycoris is still stood next to him, and the trapper was at a table by himself for
No,
ages.
In my defense, I walked back over, basically in pain, and just sat down where I was to try and act like everything was normal. And at that point, they were all at a separate table. I feel like it would have been weird if I just left everyone and went and sat at that table.
Also, we've been traveling with him. Often you have to sit with the people you're just meeting up with. That's
Yeah.
really in line.
It would be
No
rude for me to
other
ignore our friends.
Friend.
Does Anriel notice it, or is it literally just me?
He seems to have been embroiled in the conversations.
Does Esatari notice it?
And Nessa's looking out
same.
for it, so.
Same thing. Like Anriel's fully like engrossed in the conversations. He's trying to rekindle with his old allies.
Do I notice the trapper glaring? Oh, well, not
Make
glaring,
a
but
perception check.
glaring in my head. Perception. No, I'm not good at perception. I've got a +4, but it's not as good as your +11. Ooh,
But
She
you love
says.
gossip. You love gossip so much that
Yes.
you get a
Yeah.
boost to it.
I like it that
exactly.
+4 you'd normally think is good.
Mm.
It's just next to a +11, you're like, oh, I guess it's a bit shit.
I know, yeah, I'm like, well.
So, again, same thing. He doesn't seem to even look Trapper's way twice. Like since you guys have got here, Trapper hasn't really done enough to like draw attention to himself, and seemingly Anriel's not invested enough to provoke like any glances toward him. He doesn't. It's not like he doesn't care. It's just he's not engaged.
Yeah.
So we're wanting to check if we notice the trapper's expression, not
Yeah, they
Anriel.
don't,
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't care about Anriel.
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to see
Yeah,
what's
of course
going
they
on with the Trapper.
Yeah, yeah,
Does
absolutely.
everyone else notice? Fucking Ravi notices it. Come on. It's not subtle.
Even though he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, so the
Love
only
it.
the worst part about all of this is you guys are eyeballing all of these people and looking at each other, and the one thing that you all notice for a matter of fact is Vlad loves little Ravi. He loves him so much. He's currently like just like his Ravi's currently like sat down, like full bodied against the table pretty much, and it's about to flip over. And Vlad's like sat in between his legs, just looking at you all, having little sips of his beer, just absorbing the conversation, really, looking up at Ravi, scratching his chin every now and again. And
Tara
big
will
grin.
speak into Brewin's head and just say, I know it'll take a lot of spells, but it's worth it, right?
Yes. Brewin's like, I'm gonna say fucking restoration again. I'm sick of this chicken.
I sort of raise an eyebrow and just say, well, in my head, of
Yeah,
course.
it's all mental. It's all mental.
We're all mental here.
It is, well, bringing radiance about the room of happiness to a degree, because everyone seems to be a mixture of either confused figuring out things or, well, unsure. As much as I'd like to say this is a happy reunion, there seems to be something amiss. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Tari just kind of like gives a little bit of a shrug. She's still not used to Cliff Brewin. She finds it weird.
Yeah, she misses the old Brewin that she thought was really hot and got sister zoned by.
Yeah, like literally, it's like she knows he's the same person, but the sexual attraction's all gone, and she's like,
dead.
oh. I am confused. I know it's the same person, and he sounds the same, and he speaks the same, and he thinks the same, but
He's got the same eyes. It wasn't the eyes she liked.
Mm. The last thing to die.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, it wasn't the eyes she noticed.
What? I'm good at words. What is Kier looking like? Is he engaging fully, or does he still look like sickly and withdrawn?
Pretty sickly and withdrawn for the most part. If directly spoken to, fully replies as best as needed. But for the most part, he doesn't really engage. It seems to just be how he is right now. The others are seemingly reacting normally to this, so maybe it's a choice. Or it's just the new reality.
I was kind of hoping Anriel and Kier were looking lovingly in each other's eyes, but damn.
That's the happy ending you wanted to resolve all this, is it?
That's next chapter, you know. Happily ever after.
They won't mind that you ditched both of them for someone else because they fell in love in between anyway.
Exactly. I had this conversation with Lee before. Anriel was my end game, and then we left the fucking continent, and then the stuff with the Trapper happened, and then I was like, well, that has really fucked up my original end game for Lycoris.
You did like 2 sessions when he wasn't there, and you were like, never mind.
Well, that's fine then.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that the Trapper would have his redemption. I thought he was gonna stay evil.
It's always the childhood friend. I
Yeah, I was
figured
gonna
it out.
say.
I was like, it was Gora.
Yeah,
Now
this,
it
this
was a Trapper.
yeah, we knew where this was going the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, before the Trapper was in there, it was gonna be Anriel.
Yeah,
but
I thought
that's
you'd at
fine.
least have the time for Anriel in between.
I mean, so did I. I was expecting at least like one bang session, and
Yeah.
then we left the fucking country.
In all fairness, that is not fairly.
Hey, I have made this game open-ended so you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. With the repercussions waiting. If you wanted to have a bang session, there's still the option. You are not technically tied to anyone here.
She
He might
can't.
be
that
okay
would,
with it.
Oh,
that would be really. I feel like that
she
would be.
danced
really-
with him 3
I know.
Yeah, but the laws of Janasta stay in Janasta.
That would be so mean.
That would be
But
quite
it would-
horrible.
But it would
I
bring
want it to happen.
it would bring the drama that Anessa really craves.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what really matters.
As you're all daydreaming this and having fun and drinking, there is the sounds of many hooves clattering outside. And
I've got Mr. Tumnus in my head. I don't know why.
Mr. Tumnus dancing.
I was just like, oh, there's
In my-
some-
Yeah, my mind went to centaurs. In all fairness.
yeah.
of course it did.
I was like, satyrs, ooh, how
Of
exotic.
course it did, you bloody brony.
Leave me be.
The doors,
I'm assuming it's Lupula, right?
the doors are opened, and you see familiar armed figures wearing a certain family sigil.
No.
Pardon me, sorry.
I
Four
love that. Oh no.
four drow guard
Oh, for fuck's
of a
sake.
particular family come walking in.
I duck
they-
under the table.
They make sure the area is ready for the matron to come wandering in. As she wanders in, two guards move toward the doors, block them off, close them up. The other two walk alongside her. As she's walking in, she's looking around at the place. There is a look of disgust, clear disgust,
Same.
as she's looking around at the space around her. Her eyes drift to the Genasi at the left. She kind of regards them very loosely and then continues forward. The guards step forward and they hold their sheaths ready on the off chance they need to battle, but for the most part they hold them loose. As dear Mother Matron herself walks into the room, everyone of the NPCs are kind of looking around at each other with a little bit of confusion. Her eyes drift toward you, Lycoris. The hardened face remains the same. Daughter,
Mother.
I see you have returned.
Yes.
I assume then you did not get my correspondence about. She looks around the room. This delicate place.
I'm gonna look at Anessa, because Anessa is kind of the correspondence person for the ship. No. The only messages we've received have come through Anessa directly.
No, it was. Never mind. I have purchased this den of iniquity. I am currently funneling money through it to keep it until certain times or certain events happen. More than likely until I can be bothered to dispose of it, or one of your compatriots can afford to pay me back for it. It will remain mine. And you know what? I'll stop being coy for this. This little den of yours was left in rubble. The woman you so considered whatever to you before no longer resides here. She had abandoned it after the attack, or during, I didn't ask. She turns around, points toward the brokers. These gentle fellows have the deed. They will retain it in my place until such time I decide to give it up. If you wish to keep it, speak with them. If you wish it demolished, speak with them. If you could not care less, well, that's fine. Come the end of the month, or whenever you so next leave, the fate will be decided for the place. Your friends just seemed rather interested, and on behalf of our compatriot, Lupilla, I decided to purchase it and hold it. What have you say about this?
My personal feelings on the place are complex, but I will ask if any of our compatriots are interested in keeping it, and will act accordingly. I will pause, then just kind of look her dead in the eyes and say, and you need not worry about my attachment to that woman any longer. Certain truths have come to light
She
that
nods.
have proven I was misled for a long time. I apologize.
Make an insight check.
Oh. Come on, Lodi.
Oh! Okay, so...
Whoa!
I apologized. I got rewarded. Thanks. Thanks, game.
Catharsis. She's not breaking her stoicism, her stonewalling, but there is this small movement in her eyes, and suddenly the body language, like there's no new movements or anything. She is not a fully loving woman. You've known that for many years. But there's suddenly this feeling you're getting from her that feels like a comfort. You're not sure if it's just you yourself apologizing and being honest, and that's just like provoked something in return from her, or if it's something that she herself is doing. But it seems like the moment you said that, a lot of things started to click in her own mind about you, about the past, about being fair with people, about treating them the way they deserve to be treated. And as she's looking at you, the rest of the conversation will sort of inform this new feeling a bit better, but it feels like even that one bit of admittance, she feels closer to you now. While that might be like a single pebble instead of a large boulder, it's a start. And she's kind of warming just that little bit. As she takes a small step forward, the clicking of her heel on the ground. She places her hands together in front of her lap. She looks you dead in the eyes. Indeed. The ones you would least expect nor desire can let you down, unfortunately. But not all mothers are so unforgivable, nor are they unwilling to change their pasts and fix any mistakes made. In the nature and spirit of this, if you wish, I will give you the deed to this place, or you can pass it on to your friends over there. Just make sure that whomsoever will be holding it has their name on the deed. And like Horace, you see she kind of like, she pauses verbally, but also visually. She's still fully staring you in the eyes, but she's struggling with something. I have heard of your actions, not just here, overseas. You are a worthy Devane daughter. Continue your work. She slowly nods her head toward you, eyes shut for but a moment. And then she turns around on the heel. She snaps her fingers. The two guards, they both bow toward you. And then she begins wandering back toward the door. The guards surround her with the loosest sense. COVID rules, 5 feet. 6 feet. They leave the premises. The doors are slowly closed behind you. And a minute later, you hear the sound of the horse hooves clip, clop, clip, clop, as they wander away.
I stand there slightly stunned for like a good minute, and then I'll just come back, pick up my drink, and down it, and then just kind of sit there in a bit of a daze.
After barely 2 more minutes, you hear the sounds of a knocking on the door.
I stiffen immediately.
Would you like me to get it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you wander over, and you open the door slightly. On the other side, you see a familiar, dark-faced, white-haired figure. Elongated mage's robes, as always. Pure white like snow, with little trims of blue, and these golden flecks here and there to show his nobility. His hair tied back, other than the two strands of hair at the front. Lupula. And holding this long, dark oaken staff with a single purple sphere gripped gently in the branches. He sees you. With a smile, he nods to you. Just as I expected. Hello, Esatari.
She'll give a little smile and glance down a bit, and then, hello, Lupolo. We were told you'd probably be coming here tonight.
Well, that
Or
ruins
today.
all of my surprise. But
Did you bring our things?
I guess it will have to do. Now then,
I don't care about our things. I'm sorry, Chloe.
Harry's giggling like a schoolgirl.
she's there twirling her hair. It's like, so how are you?
No, because the other guy, she's like right behind, so she's like, oh shit.
Oh no, my boyfriend and my ex. So he kind of just.
Under the X.
So he motions toward the door. And
Inside.
Thank you. He moves in, and you see as he walks in, floating behind him is a very familiar-looking chest.
Ah, and we'll be glad.
It was mostly my shit in it, I'm pretty sure.
Just to check, you don't have anyone in here that works for the spiders, do you? 'Cause awkward.
Oh god, yeah, we do.
Is everyone we can trust?
He looks around the room.
Just tell Freed to cover his eyes. Your uncle's not gonna sell you out, and Freed's not gonna, but Freed probably feels morally upset at this.
I'll send a mental message to Freed then. Hey, Freed.
There's
you
a great
dropped your
painting
book.
upstairs.
There may be somewhat legal actions here. But that's no, there's not.
You hear Fred go, I'm sorry, but what? What have you done?
It's time for you to go to bed.
You
Time,
then
old man.
you then hear in your mind link, Fred, it's okay, don't worry, it's just me.
Excuse me?
Mm.
That's my mind link. Who's hacking?
I was
Lupilla,
about to make a very crude joke, but you're so proud of me.
Lupilla turns and looks at you with a grin. You're not the only one with the capacity to psychically link, my dear.
Does she melt as soon as he calls her my dear? 'Cause
No, because she's torn between being quite upset that her private network has been hacked.
But he's inside you now.
Yeah,
So-
that's why she's torn, so she's annoyed, but also kind of like, oh.
She's happy, but also slightly upset, but also
yeah.
slightly turned on.
Yeah, it's a mixture.
Oh.
Violated.
Oh
No.
yeah, he's just appeared in your mind without permission. Shocking behaviour.
Only
Iltmar
I'm
would
allowed
never.
to do that.
Only I can violate the privacies here.
Yeah.
I feel like if I knew this was happening, I'd be like, this is how it feels.
Justice.
Vindication.
I'll just narrow my eyes at him a little bit, but smile.
So he wanders to the party, chest floating aside, and releases the spell that was cast on it, making it poof, gently stomp into the ground. Then looks over toward you all and says, "Ah, I see we're already starting with the merriment. You didn't even wait for me, everybody."
I just put a glass over to him with vodka in it and a glass of wine and just be like, take your pick. I feel like he's a wine guy. I'm gonna push the wine a little bit closer.
He halts his hand forward and you see both float toward him. The liquid out of it floats out and goes toward his palm. And you see them kind of like a yin-yang kind of thing. The two liquids are like hovering around each other. And there's this gentle glow that illuminates over it. And he makes it swirl in a circle for a second. At least one of these is high quality. I'll take the vodka. The wine swirls back. The glass for the vodka comes over. He pours it into it, and then takes a gentle sip.
I'm like, he's such a show off, but I look really impressed. I
No.
make a mental note to do that, to learn how to do that myself.
Now then, I have everybody's bits and pieces. If you want to, he gently nudges the chest, and the lid.
I don't remember what I put in. That's hilarious.
Oh, 1 second.
I should have put in.
I
my
hear
cl-
conference upstairs. 1 second.
Wait,
Um,
we had a list. A number of keep spell weave chest.
Yeah,
We have a list.
Yeah.
I'll pull out my cloak, and
This is
I'll
a shard.
I'll pull out my inert shard and put it back on my necklace.
And your journals.
And I'll pull out my journals, but look very sheepish when I pull them out because I'm aware that there's stuff written
No,
about. There's
nobody
people in this.
look.
There's people in this room that I've written about in
My
these
diary, my diary.
my personal diaries.
Oh my
It
god,
literally-
guys,
it
don't read my
literally is.
diary.
It literally is my diaries.
Are we still okay to walk around with this stuff though? Like,
No, they're just touching, like they're just monitoring us. They're not like.
Yeah,
checking
they
our
don't
stuff.
know what we have. They're just
Mm.
monitoring us.
that's fine. But if we're like, if you know, I'm walking around with Trafalgar's daggers out, and this Duff's dagger.
Then maybe don't have them out. Put them in the
Okay.
bag of holding.
Okay.
Fried this
But
entire
yeah, that's
time.
something I need to reorganize that.
Freed's gone to bed.
Fried is looking very insecure right now. She's like, "Oh my god, I don't know, but they're allies. It's fine. Just turn a blind eye." You can see the stress on his face.
Yeah, I'll just rise an eyebrow. I'm like, I told you, it was time to go to bed.
It's alright, Freed. It's all just really personal stuff that we didn't want guards going through.
He looks at all the daggers and
It's really personal. Like,
It
really personal.
customs didn't have any issue with any of these things.
Exactly. They're here legally. And you can't prove otherwise. See, I'm just gonna like flick open my journal and just like quickly go through the pages and be like, look, nothing magical. Just bits and bobs.
Just deeply personal.
Just deeply personal writings of a damaged person.
Lycoris, just to let you know, I basically know the contents of your entire life now.
Was that Lupula?
Mhm.
You knew more about me before I knew about me. It's fine.
Well,
Just
this is
don't go.
true.
Just don't. I'm gonna glance at like Anriel and the Trapper, and just be like, "We don't share what's in the journals, though, Lupula."
He kind of just gives you a small nod. Well, don't worry. I'm not into all the little crashes and things. That you can keep to yourself.
As Tari does like a little internal wince as she's reaching up to like, give a twirl through like Lochorus's hair in an affectionate way, and then he says that she's like, oh.
Now then, why don't we get down
And-
to brass tacks, shall we?
You mean drinking?
Well, a little bit of that, a little bit of problems, because anytime you're anywhere, there's a problem. I know
Story
it's
of my life.
Anytime we're anywhere in particular is a problem with us, or there's just problems in general when we come by.
We
Well-
bring problems, Brewin.
well, take your pick, really. Either way, it's true. So, you might have heard we've gotten rid of a lot of your favorite people, the Apex, but not all of them decided to go peacefully. With them removed, a lot of the problematic stuff is gone, but we lost quite a few more people that we didn't have to begin with. A lot of our arcanists and believers went with them because they believe it was an abolishment of faith. So it sort of put a little bit of a strain. That's why we got so OTT about all of the magic stuff. Obviously, the influx of undead didn't help either, but afterwards, when we got rid of the Apex, it pushed things a bit too far. I tried to fix that before they put such strict regulations, but my word is just 1 of 10, so there was only so much that could be done. Should you all be available to help with it, and do not get me wrong, this is very boring and political, but I would ask you all reveal who you are as the heroes. That, in essence, is the short version.
Would that include the people that helped us at Penumbra?
Well,
Harroway and Talus?
Haraway is... This is more of a public gesture. The people who need to know, they know. The council, they don't particularly know all of your faces. They know of Haraway, they've seen him. I've shown them scries. He himself has been very forthcoming as well. But it's mostly each of you. You are the ones they need to know. They need to know who you are, why you did it, and why you chose not to take a claim. And if we can do that, it gives me some wiggle room to say, I know you, I am the one who guided you, whether or not that is true. It gives me more room to relax some of these regulations. You would not have seen it as well coming in, because as I said, most of our arcanists have left. But their motions are a little too much. Even normal people who get their hands on a simple scroll and don't know what they're doing can get arrested, or even worse, killed for just trying to revive someone they love. And it's just not fair. People such as Freed are an exception. He will understand circumstance, but a lot of these people, they're not... Some of them are... He kind of looks over at Freed and Kier and the others, and he kind of assesses that you guys have probably been told already about certain manipulations. Some of the prisoners from the grounds below and some of the slaves have been given new duties, but they have been bound to our intentions. I will not lie, I am guilty of aiding them in figuring out a configuration to bend them to our wills. But if I chose not to, it would have looked rough and bad, and I would have had no legs to stand on. But Either way, they are bound to a set of regulations they cannot disobey, and they are hurting people for simply wanting goodness. And of course, there are some that do it for ill's sake, but there are far less doing it for good, for bad, than there are good. And I need you to help me sway the vote.
And we won't have to take on any public duties. We
No,
just need to say who we are and why we did it.
in essence, yes. It will allow me to prove who you are, that you are in fact heroes that saved us. Roderick can corroborate who you are. He has been otherwise quiet about the heroes in this matter. And once they know for a fact that you took her off the throne, you stopped the invasion, and you saved everybody, you saved Alden, you saved its people, you aided me in my attempts to save the world. If that does not give room for change, I give up.
I don't have a problem with it. We already stand out like a sore thumb as it is.
Okay.
How will we get around the problem of Brewin's current form?
Yes, that we may.
As his current form was still alive in Janasta when all of this was ongoing, so we can't, unless we are to say Brewin fell in the battle.
A noble sacrifice. And in his place, another willing, similarly gifted cleric of sorts, you could say.
I'll look at Brewin to see if he has a problem with that.
Brewin sort of like looks and just looks very nonchalant about it. Just like, works for me.
Do remember your eye will be fully open. The people that know you, that desire to take you away again, they will know. They will always know your face.
Even my current face, I'm assuming, but can't really say that affected much because we had a visit via magical means.
My possession. Via possession.
Via possession from the very man who runs the Apex Faith.
Mm.
And he now knows what I look like anyway, so
And
Then,
was very open with his threat.
and very open.
well,
The
then
one thing that did confuse me is he doesn't really seem keen to be, well, taking me captive as much as he did originally. Because he seemed to be very, well, keen to tell us to carry on what we're doing, and that we'll one day see him again and fulfill the prophecy he has set out for us, even if we do kill him.
The thing he seems frightened of most is your memories. All I had to say was a suggestion that I were to tinker with your mind, and he just took over my brother's body and threatened to murder us all. So,
And even before that, he appeared on the airship on our way back via some form of illusionary magic, betraying himself, talking to us in person.
just because I forgot to put him there, Ishkari actually is there.
Yeah.
he's just so quiet. I like to think that he's trying to spiritually heal Kier.
Hmm.
Like,
He was
he
just sat by
senses-
the fire.
he's working with his spirit buddies to give Kier a bit of relief from his illness.
And trying to relieve his own trauma by healing others.
Exactly. and drinking copious amounts of tea that we don't know where he gets it from, but it's coming from somewhere.
Spirit tea. Um, I see. Would you all of you just? He holds up a finger. He flicks his wrist, and a spellbook appears. This it might as well be considered like a wall. It's a thick tome that could easily break one of your skulls. As it's summoned to his hand, he motions, and the pages start flicking and stops at a specific page. He holds it gently in his hands and just kind of starts reading for a second, quietly mumbling to himself, and then he snaps his fingers and says, Averi Asan Sesus. Across the room, each of you feel this light tingling sensation. Everybody, give me a sanity or honor check.
I've got more sanity.
I'm the same. I don't know what it means.
I have more sanity, so
Ooh.
let's go with that.
I'm very sane. That's very surprising.
I'm more sane than I thought I'd be.
Mhm. Ruben's gone a bit mental. Ooh, shall I roll for Vlad?
Yeah.
Does he have that? He does, doesn't he?
Roll for
If he's got a character sheet, he does.
Yes, he does.
I kind of wish I'd gone sanity, but never mind.
Technically,
Ravi
can
doesn't have.
Can I use my inspiration that I got from recap last session?
Yeah. If a NPC doesn't have it, roll wisdom. Chloe.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, across each of you, you
Oh, Ravi's more sane than Vlad. It's a 2% beer.
Makes sense.
across each of you, there is this joint reaction of like, as if you've fallen asleep for a moment and your head tilts forward and you feel the motion of your body falling, so you immediately snap back awake. It's that feeling for a second. And you guys didn't close your eyes, there's just that magical effect that kicks, and then you look around the room. As you each look around the room, let's see. Okay, so firstly, Chloe.
Yes.
You see this small illusory image of your mother in front of you. It's just pretty much from the shoulders up. It's not making any motions, it's just an illusory figure, this purple half image. And it's just floating there. Whenever you move your face, it moves with you. Lycoris, you see what looks to be Ishi, or at least an image of him with his mask on, floating in front of you. And similar thing, shoulders up. That's about it. Anriel, in front of him, sees what looks to be some kind of elven figure. Slightly longer hair that goes down behind the back, behind the neck. A gold earring piercing in one ear. Similar kind of, a little bit more like hazily coloured eyes, but similar-ish colour of yellow, with these two little scars along the eyebrow. And unlike you guys, which is purple and these gentle, like, flowing motions as it moves with you, he looks at his and his demeanour shifts a little. It goes to a little bit of a bitter happiness, and he gets kind of lost in it for a moment. Brewin, you have re-rolled yours. You see a certain elderly man of the Apex faith who loves and hates you in equal measures. Obviously, for the most part, you see, again, from the shoulders up, you see his withered old face. with something of a grin. It's a still illusory image, but even just that much is sickening to you. Esatari, you see the image of a slightly older man, a little bit of greying hair, a stony face, one that shows mixed measures of malice and certainty. It doesn't move whatsoever, just like the others. You seem to have got that baseline, what you needed for this to be not effective. Just some illusory image of this person I won't describe further. And just looking at it, kind of, it leaves a little bit of a tug to the chest. Kier, as he looks forward, for him, he sees a very familiar looking kitsune woman. Again, shoulders up. And similar thing with Anriel, he's got a bit of sweetness to it. And he seems to get lost into that for a second. Vlad. Just checking stuff and things. He also sees Mother Dearest in front of him. Except his version is different to yours. Yours looks slightly, and I'm going to say very slightly, younger. As in, she doesn't have as many wrinkles. She's not degraded as much. His shows a bitter old woman with these raven-feathered outfit on. And the face of someone that's been so put out, and she's frustrated and she's angry. The eyes are piercing, and he's trying to avoid the gaze of it, but the image follows wherever he looks, so he closes his eyes. Who was that one? Where is it? Oh yeah, it was him. Cool. Ravi sees a large piece of chicken. And he's constantly just kind of like and she's like constantly chasing it around the room.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
Ah,
Chickens
no!
fucking love it.
Brewin, you have had yours. Finally, the most important one. Freed sees Asado Nov, and he's
Aww.
again bittersweet, but there is a little bit of a smile there. Ishikari, in front of him, he sees this devilish face. There are these protrusions coming from the chin, like spikes pointing back toward the ears. The face is chiseled, sculpted perfectly almost, like you would see it on a statue in the center of some city square where the major commerce goes to and fro. The eyes, I'm trying to remember exactly how it works. The irises, anyway, the skull area, whichever you want to call it, they're black. The eyes themselves, the dots, are these pure, malicious reds. But the face shows confidence. It shows something else. But just looking at it, you can't tell what it is, because the face itself is a lie. It's so good at what it does, but you can't tell what the lie is. The hair is slicked back, black, jet black hair. And there are two massive horns curling from the back of the head like goat's horns. And as is with everyone else's, it goes from shoulders up. But this image is pure red. And just looking at it, Ishikari doesn't understand what he's looking at, but he knows whatever it is the source of what took him over, just looking at it. And he falls to the ground immediately, staring at it. And unlike yours, it stays in place.
It's
Lucilla
his other half, right?
could be.
the other half of his soul.
Luculla looks over toward him and immediately runs around you all, picks him up and pulls the mask off of his head, and he quietly says to him, "You have to face this. Look at it. Look at it in the eyes." And he's kind of like trying to blink away from it, but he turns his gaze, stares at it, and unlike the rest of yours, where they're basically still images, this one, suddenly the eyes turn and look toward him, the head moves. And unlike the rest of yours, this one starts to construct the lower half of its body, still illusory, still red, the hand slowly reaching forward, as if it's trying to connect with him. You see Ishkari is struggling against him. He turns his face away. "Ishkari, do not ignore it. If you ignore it, it will take over again. I know what this is. This is just your heritage. It is what you have to fight. Look at it."
Can I grab him by the hand?
As you grab him by the hand, it's trembling, shaking viciously. His entire body is like rushing with mixed adrenaline and just complete fear. And he's looking into the face of it. As the thing's moving its hand forward, you see it stops in front of his face as he's looking it in the eyes. You see its fingers curl slowly, and they brush his cheek. As they brush his cheek, you see flecks of fire burn his skin. He winces with the pain. No fire remains, just the flick of a small burn. And then the image fades. "This was step 1. I will help you with step 2. You have to go into your own world and face it at some point. But before that, we'll train you a little. I'm assuming," he looks over at you and everybody else, "I'm assuming that interaction you had with this was the first time. Beside this right now."
Yes. Did it seem similar to Legion?
Not so much in appearance, because Legion was weirdly unique. He was fully drawn out of Ishii and made to be Ishii in essence. So there was some kind of weird effect that caused his body to become inflamed and bursting in fire constantly. He became a living spirit in essence. In this case, the other half of him, inside of himself, in his own spiritual realm, is a living creature. It's just not been drawn forth yet.
So it's what Legion was before Legion escaped Ishii's soul.
Normally, they're not supposed to escape the spiritual side of a Sunforged, their body or their spiritual realm. They're never supposed to actually get out, but in some cases they do, but they usually just take over the host body, and eventually their body changes shape to match that new form. Ishii was just a whole other nonsensical magical timey-wimey bullshit, but that is how they look inside their spiritual realm.
Ew.
Good. Then I think if we can control this and we manage to maintain a handle over his other side, you should not experience whatever that thing was again. And for straight context here, I do not believe it was his other half that demanded these things of you. I think it was a conduit from something else. Until I can access that being myself through Ishkari's training. I can only speculate some things. But for the time being, I can put a dampener on any further attempts, if that is of any use.
I would just look at Ishkari whilst I'm patting his hand.
His free hand is currently on his cheek, and he's just like feeling the area where skin has just like been burnt off. And it's not a big wound by any regards. It is literally just base level skin, and there's this like clear red line. But nonetheless, like he's currently like full, just out of it.
I'll answer for him then. I'll say yes, yes. I think that would be good.
He places his hand gently on Ishkari's back and casts something. As he casts it, there is this veil of gentle purple energy that runs across Ishkari, and then as soon as it runs across, it starts fading one by one. That should help, but at the same time, to do it, he's not likely to receive any sendings anytime soon. I believe it may also affect his spiritual power, so just in case, make sure he doesn't try to reach any spirits. It will be weird for him, as more than likely he's been locked into that lifestyle all his life. So just be with him for a while he inducts himself.
Well, I will nod, and then sort of gently put Ishkari down in his seat again.
Let's go have a seat. Right, I have to go to the toilet. If you guys want to continue session, stick around for a minute. If not, we can call that there. But I really do have to go to the toilet, so I'll be right back.
Okay. What do you guys reckon? You gotta go? Or...
I should go, but I want to stay, but I should go. I really, really should.
Then we will make the choice for you and say that we will.
Yeah.
That you have to go. We just can't have a fucking rest, man. Every time we go somewhere and we're like, we're just gonna take a rest for a little bit, something happens.
I will go to bed.
Okay.
So yeah, if you guys do continue for a bit, I'll have like post vision thing. I'll have gone for a cuddle with my uncle.
Oh.
We're like,
Only
Emotions.
We'll probably wrap it up with
Yeah.
some form of ultimatum, or probably
No.
some leading bit of information before we, well, go
Before
about.
we log off.
Yeah, well, in character wise, before we go about enjoying the rest of the evening.
Well, I own this place now, guys, so we can sleep here.
Or probably not
nice.
so much enjoy it, just sit back and be like, oh, he's quick.
Oh yeah, damn right.
Big did you pee? Jesus Christ, I fast.
I've got good control of my body, I'll have you know. And washing
I
your
do
hands
not
does
have very
not
good-
take that long.
I was
It
gonna say
should.
he's got a bottle next to his desk.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Well, we are going to probably end here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, even if we can't have a calm